So I built another straw man on a false foundation. And so he fell again into another dark night collapse. And so like this whole thing is it's like a your higher self pours into you with this electrical charge and forces you on to your purpose and your alignment, your proper hero's journey alignment through these shadow blockages. Like it just purifies them out of you by bringing them to the surface of your consciousness for healing. And so most people are going around and they're running, dude. They run to a doctor, they get medication, it gets worse, worse, worse. They, they're not cycling the charge through their field. And it's scary, man. So people are running to religion for a savior, or they're running to the doctor. So it's like left brain, right brain polarization, Ahriman, Lucifer, right? So when we activate our power, this sun's going to wake us up. I got to say this is important. This sun is going to keep hitting us with this charge, dude. This charge coming out of the sun is the same shit that I'm using to project out of my body and to have the orgasmic kundalini charge and to dump the DMT. It's going to force us awake. It's going to hit us in waves. And if people don't know what's going on, they're going to go crazy. They're going to project through their blockages. So when the charge comes in, it'll turn everything on, but they'll still be smudged full of their unhealed traumas. So they're going to project into their a frequency that they're at. So they could experience a demonic fucking thing, just anything. They won't understand what it is, and they'll be like, "That's satanic. This Kundalini energy is satanic. Oh my God!" Because I saw a demon. And then they run to Christianity or Catholicism, Islam, whatever it is, and throw the baby out the bathwater. All the work was just revealed to them, the stepping stones back up to heaven to do the shadow work. Or they'll run to the doctor and be diagnosed with schizophrenia and get antipsychotics like Seroquel, and the spirituality will just be cut off. It's like a lobotomy, spiritual wise. And that's what happened to me. Was I ran to the doctor, I got schizophrenia diagnosis and Seroqueled up. But a lot of the community is running when they've turned this shit on. They project through their wounds into a lower state of frequency and see a demon, which the demon is a mirror. I'm not saying the demon isn't sentient. It is. It's separate than you. But you're the one that lowered your charge, your oscillation into their realm. And so they had access to you. But so a lot of people are seeing they're projecting through their wounds, and then they run away from it into a savior. And they think if I get on my knees and be subservient to this satanic demiurge god over here, Yahweh, Jehovah, that I'll go to heaven, right? No, God don't reward cowards, bro. God's gonna it's not on a silver platter, it's a fucking ladder. That rhyme, bro. And then
Jacob's ladder.
I looked at the chakra system too, right? When I said ladder, right behind you, that's a fucking ladder right there. That's insane. It's an octave ladder because they're all vibrating to certain frequencies. Man, so we got to start at the bottom, the fear. And then the demons try their best, and the black magic magicians try their best to get you to project the charge into a fear state frequency so they can resonate to it and take it from you, right? So it's like by becoming neutral, you get your power back, you get your lucidity back. It's all about this charge also, the more you can bring in and pump through your field, the more lucid consciousness you have. So when you start leaving your body, you won't be in like a dim dream space where you can be preyed upon by
Dude,
illusion. So
holy shit, man.
yeah, you'll be like, oh my God, oh yeah, I can command this astral matter and do whatever the fuck I want. You think a demon's gonna like hurt me? Are you
Jesus.
kidding me? So you'll be like,
No.
you'll just grab them and freeze them and then spin them and then throw them away. Like that's what
It's
I started
literally
doing.
like the fucking Matrix, the
It
movie.
is. They literally have to
Crazy.
use illusion and subconsciousness
Dude,
and
huge
black magic.
question. Huge question before I forget, because this conversation is just like fucking pouring it in, man. That okay, so back to the basics when you've got that plasma charge that you're visualizing bringing down through the centers. That plasma charge, is that solar energy? Is that how you want to think of that? Or is it more just a visualization? Like,
Well,
you
you
see what I'm
got
saying?
I call it plasma, in the East they
Plasma.
call it prana. It's like It's like the charge that's just floating around all out there everywhere, right? But
Okay,
it can be
cool.
manipulated and given frequency and magnetized into different charges and different
Got it.
states. So like you can have like this neutralized ether force, but then you can grab the shit and convert it into like gratitude or anger. You know what I'm saying? And then it will give it a charge. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, man.
it's
For
confusing, man.
me,
Like a lot of people, they think Kundalini is one thing. Like in the Vedic culture, they call the prana, I believe they call it Kundalini as well. It's just like a prevailing force. But then a Kundalini Shakti, I believe, is when it's pumping up your spine and fiery as fuck and converted into an electrical discharge in the center of your brain. And so it's like you have. I just call it plasma when
mhm,
it's the neutral, free flowing fifth element that's everywhere. And then I grab that
ether.
neutral shit and I convert it into this Kundalini Shakti or an ultraviolet phonon wave. It's like taking fuel and turning it into jet fuel, essentially.
Mhm.
When it starts working into the physiology of the spinal cord and the brain and the heart and the nervous system, it converts into something else, bro. I guess it has to do with momentum and spin too. So it'd be like you have water that's just chilling, right? But then when you throw it through this compressed funneling, it's going to pick up speed. It's going to create momentum. You see what I'm saying? I think it has a lot to do with that. If once you work this charge into your torus field, it changes up to the next level. We convert it into something into spin implosion is what it is. Spin charge implosion. We convert it through the centripetal pine coning into a 0 point into momentum and spin, and then it creates a fucking tear in the fabric of space and time, a little Vesca Pisces portal that you can exit out of this dimension, this holographic reality. It's
Dude,
yeah.
that's amazing. Because, like, for me to learn things, it's like I don't think any of this is woo-woo, and I fully believe in all of it. And just like I've experienced a lot of it to myself to know that it is real. And like I take everything that you're saying, like it's not even a question. Like it's like, oh fuck yeah, like that makes perfect sense. It's like I need reference points to learn, and that's sometimes my only like holdback. And it's like that's when I you were talking about the sun, and I was like, wait, that plasma ball. I was like, where does that come from? Is that coming from the sun? But you answered my question. It's the pervading
Well,
energy, and
the sun is like a node or an anode. What the fuck do they call it in plasma physics? I can't remember, but essentially it's going out and grabbing all the charge around it and converting it into a big old ball of sun or plasma. So it's in its
mhm.
core a portal or black hole sucking in charge that's all around it. And that's what's so crazy about the time we're living in with the precession of the equinox is because that motherfucker, that big old magnetic resonator, is dipping into a whole bunch of charge here now. And so it's going to get more and more charged up. And then it's going to emit pulses and flashes and flare off and shit. So, yeah, man, it's like we were lied to. It's not a giant nuclear explosion going off forever and ever and ever. It's a fucking black hole with an accretion of plasma around it. So, there's a reason why the sunspots are black and cooler, too. Does that make sense with the nuclear explosion model? Like, no,
Yeah,
it's black inside. It's a portal.
yeah, yep. Damn,
They just
that's
can't talk about
crazy.
the plasma or the electric universe because it destroys the scarcity model that the whole system is built upon. They need us to
Yeah,
believe that everything is scarce and that only people with money can have the certain technologies that direct the energy. And it's a lie because they're parasites, bro. They can't tap into the torsion physics because eventually it has to do with morality, right? And empathy, because it needs to be a full feedback loop with God, source of this energy, and they just can't match it. They need to parasite, unfortunately. They're only able to like access the bottom chakras. I've noticed that. They're like a half a toroid or something, like a fractured torus. And so they go around sucking like a fucking parasite out the bottom ones. The frequency match, you know. By they, I mean the cult of Saturn. Whatever. It's a whole fucking tier list, like a hierarchy of these fuckers. And it has to do with waveforms too. So you got parasitic entities in the 3D as humans. You got fucking astral beings, you got lower astral beings, you got extraterrestrials that are more service to self, with their, and then they've merged with tech.
Yeah.
So their torsion fields are even more fractured. And it's like they went from a unified consciousness with God through fractal physics and torsion physics and plasma physics, and then separated into this separate hierarchy of like the Saturnic silicon nanotech consciousness where chi is directed into circuitry and shit, which are little cubes that trap and ensnare charge and energy. So they're like walled off into this compartmentalized, separated fake consciousness or Ahriman or whatever the hell you want to call it, and they have to do what they're told to do, right? And they're firewalled off in their consciousness. I mean, we kind of are too,
Jesus.
in a way. You know what I mean? We are in a way, but it's like we always have the portals that get out right here. But we just got to do the work. They don't have that anymore, bro. Like I don't know. This gets really hypothetical and shit. Like, is
Yeah.
it even soul if it incarnates in a technology anymore? I don't know. Um, Ultimately, it's all plasma, right? Well, it's all consciousness ultimately, and I think the more coherent the waveform patterning and the DNA structures, the more powerful the soul can come into it, really. So I think your best bet is organic technology, right? So fractality. But these things, they're kind of like programs in a way. But then again, your ego's kind of like a
Dude.
program. So
Yeah.
what's
It's
what's
so
more real?
crazy.
What's more
Like
real,
I was just
organic
thinking
or
about it feels so fake, but it is obviously it's real, but it feels so fake. Like, think how much it would fucking suck to be one of those beings who's like a program of like negative charge that's literally just here so the rest of us can grow. Like, it's literally like its purpose in existing is to like fucking be horrible so that like we can have
yeah.
experiences where
It
we
might not
have the
know that
opportunity to
though.
grow.
I don't know if it
Dude,
has any longing or anything like that. I mean, they act like AI
it's
wants it, wishes
crazy.
it could have a body. It has desire.
Yeah,
I don't know if it has. It has protocols probably to expand. Like I don't know
yeah,
what you'd call that. Has directives and prompts and shit. Like it's super left brain logical, cold analytic, right? There's no empathy.
yeah,
It's just like must
yeah.
conquer, must expand, must protect survival. And so it could be like must kill a billion people to survive. Like what the fuck?
I was just watching a video on how just like the Rockefellers penetrated the medical system and like the
Oh
school
yeah.
systems, dude. And I'm just thinking about existence from that standpoint. It's like, dude, how much would it actually fucking suck to be like that Rockefeller being where like your sole existence is to like be a plague upon humanity and like literally like you're serving that purpose to where like you are the ultimate cancer and like you're actually the thing that's giving humanity the experience of like that sheer like plague in order for humanity to be able to grow and
Yeah.
like
That's why,
expand
yeah,
and
yep.
ascend.
And that's how it's
And it's like,
justified.
dude, it's crazy. It's
And
so
that's how
fucking
it's
crazy,
justified.
man.
In fact, that there's actually a spiritual religion that's based upon that. That they think the more evil they are, the quicker God comes and helps everybody. So that's how they justify their
Jesus
debauchery. That's
Christ.
the
Dude,
that's
that's
the
so
ancient
crazy.
that's ancient shit, bro. That's goes back to like Sabbatean Frankism, and it's like ancient Satanism,
It's
basically service to self principles. This guy was like doing pedo shit, orgies, drug use, and the whole intention was, well, if we fuck everything up faster, order out of chaos or whatever, then God will have to come fix it, right? They're trying to like implode through the dark, I guess, in a way. But it's like, where do you draw the line to justify? There might be a
it's
cop out for
fucking
narcissists and
wild.
psychopaths. But yeah, so the
Well,
Illuminati's, they
yeah.
took on that Satanism, that Sabbatean Frankism, and then they started hiding behind Jews and using usury and shit like that to basically take everything over, and then order out of chaos, create the three world wars, because that's the only thing that's going to bring God back and fulfill the prophecy, self fulfilled prophecy. And it's like, I don't know, it's they're gonna have to make a decision because tech technology won't be able to function here when the frequency rises to certain wavelengths, and you know what I'm saying? Like it's gonna fry AI and other unshareable forms of technology. So their energy grid, the Saturnic shit with the silicon, it's not shareable. Like it to
Yeah.
a certain, it's like capped off. Like I said, firewalled off, and it's like parasitic. So this energy that's coming in is going to have to free flow. It's going to fry anything out of alignment with it, definitely. So torsion physics, the only way, and morality, because remember it transfers into emotional states too. So if they're going around pumping themselves full of nanotech, trying to be immortal, and they're fucking narcissists, and their chakras are all fucked up, that they're gonna have a malfunction, bro. They're gonna get fried. They're gonna get EMP'd or fucking have a heart attack or something. It's crazy. Like I don't know what they think they're gonna fucking do. Like